Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the PLA podcast. I have one of the sweetest people I know in the community, just an absolute gem, a incredible individual, brilliant, kind, and just brings so much value. And I can't wait to interview him today. Sudhanshu, welcome to the PLA podcast.
Thank you, Dania. Thank you for sweet words.
They're so genuine, and anybody who gets to know you can. I truly feel the same. I would love to formally introduce you to, though, before we jump into these incredible questions that I have for you and this amazing interview, so our audience can have the privilege of getting to know you like we have. So I wanted to introduce our incredible guest today, Sudhanshu Ganji Shetty, a data engineer specialized in healthcare analytics, cloud data platforms, and AI-enabled data engineering. His career journey has taken him from IT education into data engineering, giving him a unique perspective on how technology and the people working within it continue to evolve. As the industry has shifted from traditional data platforms to modern AI driven systems, Sudhanshu has embraced continuous learning as one of the defining principles of his career. He believes that lasting success isn't determined by technology alone, but by curiosity, adaptability, and willingness to continually evolve the way we think. Today, we'll explore his personal perspective on mentorship, career growth, lifelong learning, and why AI should be viewed as a thinking partner rather than simply a coding assistant. We'll also discuss why he believes one of the most valuable skills in the age of AI is the ability to ask better question. Welcome, Sudhanshu, to the PLA podcast.
Thank you, Dania. Thank you so much.
It's an absolute treat to have you on here. And like every great story, there is a beginning to it. And I'd love to know at the very start of your own career, how did it begin? And what is one piece of advice you wish someone had shared with you, knowing everything that you know now?
Yeah. Uh, yeah, Dania. So I'm happy to meet you again. So you have been doing marvelous work under PLA Academy, and thank you for being there as mentor every now and then. So regarding this question, when I look, the one piece of advice that I was looking in the beginning of my career, that would be like when I look back at my career 7 years ago. I think people often see that career as with different milestones. Someone who started IT and then shifted to education and then transitioned into data engineering, moved into healthcare, and then embraced cloud technologies and now exploring AI and also the research. But across all these things, I think I see in a very different way. I see curiosity. So that's a uh, major thing which drove me across all the transitions for a title or a technology. So it was mostly this question: what else I can learn, or is there a better way I can solve this problem? So over the time I realized curiosity is the one which have started the journey in all aspects of technologies I worked, fields I worked. But growth only happens when curiosity changes the way we think. That's the biggest lesson of my career. So I don't like someone to tell, or I wouldn't tell myself, 7 years younger Sudhanshu, I wouldn't tell to learn Python or Databricks or technology or uh, new technology or new systems, but I would tell him keep that curiosity constant, or increase the curiosity. Don't fear, don't panic. Just keep that curiosity, that childlike curiosity, uh, protected. So that's what I would like to tell my younger self. So knowing something is not same as understanding it. So when you're responsible for explaining that idea to someone else, your our own thinking becomes quiet. It becomes expansive, right? So that's something which I learned while I was teaching and building software isn't about code, so it's more about understanding the problem. So today AI has reinforced this lesson again. So AI can generate the code, but it cannot replace my curiosity. So the professionals who will remain valuable are the ones who keep continuously asking better questions. So I wish I would have someone who told me how to ask those better questions to keep that to protect my curiosity. And growth is always linked with the curiosity. So yeah, so that is something I would like someone to guide me there.
And it's brilliant because I am sure if we have this conversation in 15 years,
Mhm.
that piece of advice would still be so valuable and so relevant. While you're right, so many of us have overly focused on certain technical skills that we used to say in 10, 15 years, but really in 6 months to 2 years from now may be completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
So I love this, and also the applicability to every single industry, no matter where someone's listening or tuning in from, in their own work and career, no matter what stage they're at, no matter what industry or position they hold within an organization. The power of curiosity is always going to serve someone in terms of creative thinking, solutions, broadening perspectives, learning. It is extremely valuable what you're sharing.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's what I see in most of my leaders who are working in my teams or in the personal life. The curiosity is something which keeps them growing, and the ability to, everyone fears, but taking that step forward with fear is what it is essential. I think Venkat also told this the same. So having that courage to take the step by holding that fear is what we needed. So that I think that's synonym for the curiosity, I guess. So uh,
And I love that piece that you bring up. Like fear is going to be part of the equation regardless of where we're at. And it's not about actually reducing or removing the fear. It's about learning to continuously show up and be proactive and take the actions necessary, even if the fear is there and even if it's present along the process, along the journey.
yeah,
Wow, brilliant. And I'd love to know, Sudhanshu, you're such a positive person. And so many times we've gotten to connect. You always seem to find the light or the positivity in something with your great smile. It's like, I want to know, every single person I know that has had a successful career has been through their own challenges. And I'd love to know, someone as positive as you, what were the challenges you had to move through and how did they serve you in terms of growth?
yeah. So I am positive because I'm surrounded by positive people like you all. So thank you for that. But yeah, the biggest challenge wasn't like keeping up with the technology, because by now I am adaptable with the technology. Like my field, data engineering, is something where we need to adapt almost on everyday basis uh, to learn the new skill, get the requirements done, and meet the deadlines. So that's adaptable, but it keeps on evolving. The learning keeps on evolving, and that's how it should and it's expected. But the real challenge was learning that every stage of my career required me to think differently. So teaching, while I was in teaching, it required me to simplify the complexity. While I'm teaching to students, engineering required me to embrace that complexity. While health coming into healthcare, solving technical problems isn't just enough. We need to understand the processes, people, business outcomes, and now here AI is also teaching another lesson, from execution to evaluation. What is the output? How is it useful to the team? How is it useful to the business? So that evaluation is very much needed. Uh, Success always meant, in earlier days, it used to I mean, success always meant producing an answer, but now it's like evaluating multiple answers and choosing the best one. So judging which is the right and which has the longest term value. So that's more important. So that's a completely different way of thinking. Uh, yeah, coming up to the biggest challenge, the way I think, the way I, come up with a solution to a problem, uh, evaluating the solutions. This has been a journey with different mental models. So I would have, the biggest challenge was thinking in a right way, which is the right pattern to identify. So yeah, that would be the major challenge, I would say.
Beautiful. And you mentioned this really key topic that we've heard across every single platform, in every single major news outlet, in every major magazine or publisher has talked about AI. And I'd love to get someone like you's perspective on like how has it impacted and influenced your day-to-day, the way you see your industry, and where are we going with all of this?
So to be frank, when AI is coming and when I started using AI, when AI is building the websites in minutes and everything, I just got a panic attack. So is it going to replace everyone? But I don't think so. After embracing AI, I don't think so. AI can never replace an engineer, data engineer, especially data engineer, because I more see AI as a buddy, or a roommate, or that person who knows about us. So everywhere in team, like in our professional life or in our homes, we share everything up to a buddy, right? So we have own close friend or a close colleague with whom we share almost everything regarding the scenario, project, or your life or something, and you seek advice from there, a different perspective. So right now I don't need, I mean, I might need human beings, but uh, I can share stuff with LLMs. I can discuss with them and get the possibilities, evaluate the best possibility, uh, uh, and get the best outcome, probably the better outcome than doing all by myself. So I would see AI is more as a buddy, who is on our phone, with whom we can uh, see things clearly and help us in evaluating better answers, better solutions. So AI is my brainstorming partner. It challenges my assumptions. It provides the alternate approaches, architectures, highlight the blind spots or risks, raises questions I hadn't considered, and uh, but all this it does, but responsibility it doesn't, it is not going to take. I'm going to take that responsibility. The business context it is not going to define, I'm going to define, or the personal context with a relationship, or with with the fact like building a home, or with the fact like owning a home, or owning a vehicle, I'm going to take. It might help a different possibility, but and governance, I mean, it might help you to explore different aspects of governance, but uh, again, it's the human who has to deal with the governance. And coming to ethics and communication, I don't think AI can ever replace ethics. In terms of ethics and communication, human communication is the best form of communication. So decision making, so again, AI is only going to give us a better approach, or a different approach, I would say. And you can define the better or best or good only by human judgment. So decision making is still holding with me. So like most of us are still seeing AI as a brainstorming partner who enhances the ability to uh, think, increase their thoughts, so reduce the dependencies on external factors, uh, like external world, and obviously reduce the amount of work which we do. So for me, the challenge is the right amount of thinking, the right way in thinking, and AI is actually helping, and it is amplifying in the importance of good thinking. So uh, I just want to say that everyone has access to similar tools like AI tools. But now, what is the difference? Earlier, we don't have tools. So, learning tools, learning this tricks were, I mean, tools and technologies were very important for us. But now, learning code or learning these technologies may not be that important, uh, because information is completely on, is accessible by everyone, but it's the judgment. To have the right judgment, we need to have the right way of thinking. So I believe AI is going to help me, or the so AI is not going to replace any human being. It is only going to make us better judges, better decision makers, and better communicators, I would say.
I love it. I still have the visual in my head of AI being my favorite roommate. And I think it's such a playful way of putting it, but it really is, you know, some kind of tool and entity that allows us to be really unfiltered and share with it all kinds of stuff. It's almost like if only our roommates were like that. Those who, may still have roommates, it's like the joy of like having someone that says yes to everything you prompt it and you suggest and it runs with it. And the word when you were describing, the word that kept coming up to me was this thing, the word of amplifier. It's like AI is an amplifier of where we are leading it. And so it's this reminder. It's like it actually isn't the direction itself or the leader. It's an amplifier of our own leadership. And if our own leadership is of quality and clarity and direction, it will go quite far. But if our own leadership lacks quality and direction and clarity, then all of a sudden the responses and the support we'll get from AI won't be all so good.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, you have already summarized in much better way than I explained. Yeah, I totally get it. And also, like AI, I mean, I if you see the LLM, specifically with the LLMs, they could be our clone copies also. You don't need a best friend. Like, you yourself can become a best friend. So the cloned copy of Sudhanshu, the cloned copy of Dunya can become their best friends. So yeah, just like a roommate, the AI can become your best friend in guiding. So if there is a property, if there is, suppose there is some legal issue happening and you actually don't know what to do, and having that I am a data engineer, I don't have any knowledge so in the legal expertise, so AI is going to help there, and I cannot share every stuff to the people or the lawyers or the attorneys immediately without trusting them, but AI I can trust it. So the AI is going to become a cloned version of ourselves, which is going to guide us in a better way.
I
Uh,
love
yeah,
Yeah, the possibilities are endless, and we're just starting to get an understanding of it. And
yeah,
I love that the piece around, even you shared, understanding the language in which it speaks is going to be so important to be able to make the most of these tools that are at our disposal now.
yeah,
I'm so curious, Sudhanshu. We are on the PLA podcast, and you are someone who is so committed to learning. Anybody who knows you personally, professionally, knows like you are constantly growing, constantly learning, constantly investing in yourself. I'm curious, what originally drew you to a community like PLA?
Can you repeat? Sorry.
Of course. What originally drew you to a community like PLA?
So I got some setbacks in career and in both personal life. Like as AI is advancing and the nature of work is advancing, uh, but still I cannot be available to my professional life all the time. There's a personal life which I have to lead. Uh, so even though I am excelling in my professional life, I may somewhere not excelling in my uh, personal life, but I don't. It cannot be separated, right? Personal life and professional life cannot be separated. Uh, it's like our personal life is the accelerator for our professional life, and professional life uh, defines our personal life. So both have to be coordinated. So be it for XYZ reasons, my personal life is not that expected, and having I was not able to troubleshoot my personal problems. So that's where I entered into therapy and life coaching, and that's how PLA came into my doorsteps through Instagram. So the questions which I was asking to myself, which I was asking around, I didn't get answers over there, but PLA sessions did give me few answers. So yeah, that's how PLA I got into PLA. So and it's the way everything is changing, the resilience which I'm holding, I'm developing, and the way I am seeing things right now, uh, with that emotional clarity, with that understanding, with that differentiation of profession and personal life, and it supporting both the areas, uh, is very valuable, and I'm still learning. So yeah, still figuring out a lot of things, but yes, the way we think is influenced by good people, great mentors. I think I see that in PLA, and it's helping me. So yeah.
Sudhanshu, I love, and I don't know if it's the exact word you use. So I really want to honor in case I'm paraphrasing inaccurately, just by a little bit. But I love what you said around your personal life is an accelerator for your professional life. And they're far more intertwined than people like to admit. And there's something extremely valuable about what you're sharing because oftentimes we go into the office and it's like, make sure to leave your personal life at the door, don't mix your personal and professional life. And most of us, if we're going through a big challenge on the front of our personal life in that experience, no matter how much of a boundary we put and trying to put, draw the line in the sand, get in the office, put on the, the character, the persona, the energy of who we are in that space, that energy in some ways is at the back, it is on the back burner, is in some ways influencing how we're showing up in the office. And so understanding that these can both be very symbiotic in energy of feeding each other, empowering one another, and supporting each other in terms of our personal and professional life, and seeing the value of investing into, whether it's PLA or any other program that speaks to the person listening, the value is much greater than we realize when we realize both of these facets or areas of our life are going to benefit, which will influence the other. So
Yeah.
I love, love, love that you shared this.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like I think you explained it in a better way than I did. But yeah, so yeah, both are interrelated, and the symbiotic relationship should exist, and both the environments should support each other. So that's how we need to choose, or uh, evolve, make sure that we are on the our environments are also evolving in the similar way as we are evolving in our career or in our personal life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you my favorite question on the PLA podcast. And I specifically want to ask you because I know your kind heart, your generous heart. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to hear the answer of this. What is the legacy and impact you're still looking forward to leave behind in the world?
So generally, we think from the challenges, the advices which someone has given us, that would it would have been better, right? So for me, the advice I was craving, mm, was how to ask the better questions, how to keep the curiosity in a consistent way, how not to let uh, the problems or the problem statements, to minimize that curiosity which we hold. So those I want to concentrate. So technology has a life cycle. Every platform eventually evolves, and there is a, I would say, end to that, and that's how the life is. And what lasts much longer is the way how we influence people. So if I can ever leave anything behind, I hope it should be curiosity and how to ask better questions.
Mm.
I'm learning that, and one day I hope I'll teach the same thing to the folks who are going to need it. And I hope I encourage people to ask better questions, to remain lifelong learners, to see technology not as the destination, but as a vehicle to drive and to solve the meaningful problems. If someone works with me, and years later, I feel, I would be more happy if they tell about me that the way I approached learning, he changed the way I approached learning. So mm, that would make me happier. Uh, I would feel that as a greatest compliment I would have received. And I believe future won't belong to the people who know the most. It will belong to the people who never stop learning, never stop questioning, and never stop evolving. For me, what both technology and life have been about, the continuous evolution of thinking. So, yeah, be it
That
in relationships, or in life, or in technology. So it's the evolution of thinking. So before talking with Dunya, you might have seen a version, Sudhanshu version 1. After talking with Dunya, you might see Sudhanshu version 2, which might be a better version. So again, so this is during this 1 hour, I might be evolved. So yeah, embracing that evolution is also needed, and that uh, that like to keep the curiosity and alive in us and to ask better questions. Sometimes we need that courage to ask the better question. We might feel it silly, but no, they are not silly, right? So that courage, it's okay to ask. So we need to clear that environment. So I'm lucky to have my teams, professional teams, and my personal family. Everyone, they encourage me to ask those questions. So yeah, I should also be in the same place where once I become a leader, or once I become a caretaker, I need to I need to allow the other person to ask a better question. I cannot stop one to, you know, stop their thinking. So that's the legacy I want to leave.
incredible. There were so many mic drop moments in that answer. And I'm like, I hope to rewatch this recording and just replay that answer over and over again. So good. Incredible. Sudhanshu, thank you so much for your time today, for your incredible heart, your generosity, your perspective, your openness, and everything you've shared with me in the audience. I'm sure so many people are going to get so much value from this episode. And I can't wait to have you on for a future episode once again on the PLA podcast.
Thank you so much, Dunia, for your time and all the mentorship you do. Thank you so much.
But it's a true pleasure and an absolute privilege. And to everyone listening, I hope you got just as much value, if not more than I. I'm blown away. It was an incredible conversation. And looking forward to our next episode. And we'll catch you all for the next PLA podcast episode.